In Feng Shui, your bedroom is always a romance hotspot. Now, there is a good chance that another part of your home is where relationships and romance officially sits in the bagua, and you should definitely pay attention to that area too. But if you do want to use Feng Shui to improve things romantically, then the bedroom is of great importance. And in this video, I'm going to share some tips with you to help with that. But before we get stuck into those, I want to stress that I am not one of these teachers that promotes the idea if you do X, you will magically manifest Y. For me, Feng Shui is much more effective when we use it as a tool for personal growth rather than as a magical quick fix manifestation tool. And I have a video that goes into that in more detail, which I'll link here and in the description below. Where I really see the value of Feng Shui is in helping us to get much clearer on what it is that we want, what it is that we don't want, and what changes we might want to make within ourselves in order to realize the changes on the outside that we wish to experience. So with that caveat clearly stated, let's move on to the actual tips. So with Feng Shui, before you make any changes, you really want to start by setting yourself a very clear intention about what it is that you want to release or what it is that you want to create within your life. And once that is set, then start by cleaning and decluttering your space. Now, I know you might be looking for some sexier, less chore-like tips, and those are going to follow, but they will all be a waste of time if you don't start with cleaning up, because the fundamental point of Feng Shui is to improve the energy, the qi in your home. That needs to be able to circulate freely, and piles of clutter will impede that. Stuck qi stagnates. So no matter what area of your life you want to improve, clearing the clutter is always the first Feng Shui tip to apply. So once you've set your intention and cleaned the space, the next thing you want to do is to make physical space for both you and your partner. If you want equality in a relationship, Feng Shui recommends that both partners have side access to the bed. So this means not having it pushed up against the wall and one partner climbing over the other to get in and out. And even if you're currently single, it's still not recommended to push the bed up against the wall unless the space in the room dictates that. If at all possible, pull the bed out, ensuring that your current or your future lover has easy access to the bed, the same as yourself. Now, if the space dictates that it does need to be pushed up against the wall, don't get stressed about that. We all have to do the best that we can from the place that we're at, and there are other things that you can do besides the bed layout to facilitate greater harmony within your relationships. And continuing with the principle of equality, you want to apply that also to your bedside tables and your bedside lighting. Now, some Feng Shui practitioners would say that you need to have the same table and the same lamp on either side of the bed, again, to promote equality, while others say that they don't need to be identical. And I fall into that camp. What I would say to you is go with the guidelines that most resonate for you. For me, I look for pieces that are similar but not identical, because I would choose a partner that complements me rather than is a male version of me. But that's also a reflection of my personal taste, which is a much more mismatched style. If you're somebody who's very drawn to synchronicity, then having matching would be a better way for you to go. The important thing is that there is some sense of equality between the pieces. So for example, if one piece is taller than the other, then maybe the other will be wider so that they would be of similar overall volume. And the same with your lighting. They don't have to be identical, but have them maybe at the same height. Really, the most important thing is that there is a sense of equality in terms of if you have a bedside table and a bedside light, your partner has the same. Now, if you're single, it's also recommended to make some space in your wardrobe or in your dresser for your future partner. So clear out a drawer or a shelf or some hanging space for the partner that you'd like to draw in. And some schools of thought even suggest having a spare dressing gown for your future partner. When it comes to artwork in your bedroom, what you really want is to depict happy couples rather than happy families. So keep your kids' photos out of your bedroom and display them in a more communal part of the home. If you're in a relationship, then have some happy photos of you as a couple and choose your absolute favorites that still make you smile every time your eye lights on. Whereas if you're single, hang some art that depicts happy couples, or maybe an abstract piece that conjures up the feeling of being in a happy relationship, and remove any images of single people from your bedroom. You want to be thinking about pairs in general, so not only in terms of artwork, but any kind of decor elements you have displayed in your room. So say, for example, if you've a candle, have a pair of candles, not a single candle. And also avoid groupings of three, because three can bring a third party into the relationship. At all times, think two. Which brings me back to the point about the dressing gown, the spare dressing gown. If your dressing gown is displayed openly in your room, it's not tucked behind a closed door, then I would certainly suggest you think about having two rather than one. So when it comes to colour, if you're looking to enhance romance, pink is an option to consider. And yes, even if you're a straight male, it is something to think about. Because if we put gender aside, each of us has masculine and feminine energy within us. And Feng Shui, as I've already mentioned, is all about the energy. The masculine yang energy helps us to get things done, whereas the feminine yin energy is more receptive and allows us to relax better. And soft, muted colors can help us to achieve this in the bedroom. And pink is especially attuned to the energy of love. It's associated with the heart center and with self-love. And while it is a tint of red, which is a very stimulating and passionate color, pink is much more toned down. So it's less likely to stimulate arguments, which red can do, but it can help us to spark romance. And it doesn't need to be the candy colored shade of pink that we might associate with the child's bedroom, because there's a whole world of pinks out there to be discovered. And you don't have to paint the walls pink either. You can use pink bedding. And if you want to be really discreet about it, you could just use a pink undersheet. But other alternatives would be to use pink in your artwork and other accessories. When it comes to lighting, strong or harsh lighting will add yang energy to the room instead of the yin effect that we're really looking for in this space. You want to go with softer, warmer lighting, which is also more conducive to romance and seduction. So prioritize bedside lights that give off that soft glow over using a bright ceiling light. And also light some candles when you're having some me time or some couples time in the bedroom. Set the scene for romance, whether you're single or already in a relationship. The gift of flowers has long been symbolic of romance. They had to open our hearts to possibilities, and they also add to the yin energy that we're looking to create in the bedroom space. And roses are an obvious romance signifier, but pink peonies are also recommended for romance, and orchids are another Feng Shui favorite for the bedroom. But what I would say is don't get too hung up on finding the perfect plants or the perfect flowers. What's most important is that whatever you bring in, that you love them, that they make your heart sing. And crucially, you want live flowers and plants. In Feng Shui, dried flowers are considered to be dead, unhealthy energy and aren't actually recommended for any part of your home. Feng Shui also isn't big on having mirrors in the bedroom, because mirrors project yang energy, so the active energy. And as I've mentioned a few times, we want to lean more into the yin energy in this space. So you want to keep mirrors to a minimum, and as much as possible, avoid having them reflecting the bed. So some Feng Shui schools suggest that they can cause arguments because the energy is more stimulated, while others say that infidelity can be invited into the relationship if the bed is reflected in the mirror. Equally, TVs and computer screens are discouraged in the bedroom. So if you do have these screens in your room, then it's recommended that you cover them either with a screen or a piece of fabric, both when you're going to sleep and also when you're making love. Now, you may have noticed that some of these tips are about bringing things in and others are about removing what isn't helpful. But all of them are about making the energy in your bedroom more conducive to romance. And to support these changes more deeply, it would be helpful to do a space clearing ritual after an argument. And I have a video that I will link that walks you through that process. It helps to clear the air so that the energy between you and your partner can lighten up. And after a breakup, it's a really good thing to do a space clearing ceremony as well. Once you're ready to let go and move on, it can really help to support you in that process. Now, some of these tips may make sense to you on some level, and those are the ones really to get cracking with. You don't have to concern yourself about the ones that you feel resistance to, with the exception of the decluttering. And I will link a video about decluttering that might help to shift resistance to if you are feeling it. As I said at the outset, these aren't magic tricks, but when you consciously implement some of these tips while holding the intention to improve your romantic situation, they can certainly help to bring clarity and insight on the level of personal growth. And ultimately, it's the inner growth that will impact our love lives or any other aspect of our lives. And if you want to learn more about that, I recommend checking out this earlier Feng Shui video. Now, apart from romance, there's a whole host of other Feng Shui tips for the bedroom to support your well-being in general. And I have an online course that walks you through these and how to apply them, not only in the bedroom, but in every part of your home, if you're seeking to consciously set up your home to support your well-being. And I'll leave a link to that in the description box below. And if you found this video helpful, I'd love it if you would hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.